Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, and this young guy over here, Justin, he's going to be playing, how cool is this? John Stamos in the Full House Story, debuting on Lifetime this Saturday at 8 o'clock. Check it out, it's going to be awesome. Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade. So as a guy who grew up on Full House, man, I think every generation of the last 3 generations has grown up on Full House.
Yeah.
You get to play John Stamos, Justin. Lifetime's doing this whole biography. I can't wait because I'm always fascinated with all the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Tell me all about what John Stamos and playing him was like.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up a fan of the show as well, and a fan of Uncle Jesse, and it's such an iconic character. It was a lot of fun. It was crazy to book the role and just to go back and research him and see kind of how he got started with the soap, One General Hospital, and then he had a few other shows before he booked this one. So it was really cool. Yeah, just because I was such a big fan of the show, just to get to see behind the scenes of it and get to play this character.
So, doing the research. Obviously, we know John Stamos, megastar, one of the biggest TV stars of probably the last 25 years. He's hugely relevant now because he's got a new show coming out on Fox. Had a rehab thing happen recently. Yeah. When you start doing research into this, talk to me about that process.
Yeah, I mean, it was sort of a quick process in between booking the role and actually shooting. But yeah, I just immediately went back and started watching episodes of Full House, which was hard work. And then yeah, just went online and tried to find as many old interviews of him that I could, and watched him on General Hospital a little bit, and tried to find just anything about Full House, like any biographies on him or the show, or even any of the other characters, maybe talking about him. Yeah. One
of the things that any actor deals with is there's the persona on screen and there's who they are off screen.
Right.
Talk to me about that dichotomy with John.
Yeah, I sort of feel like, from what I gathered, it was sort of maybe just a little heightened version of him. I mean, clearly he was within the show like sort of a Mr. Mom type character, but yeah, I mean, and off the screen he seemed more like a heartthrob, like ladies' man type. But he was that on the show too. That's what I mean. He just it seemed like somewhat of a heightened version of himself.
When you talk heartthrob, I mean, he was one of the sex symbols of a decade because of that show. When you start getting into that character, because this is not a fictitious character, this is a real person. Right. Does some of that seep into you? Or you're like, wow, this is pretty cool, this dude's life.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things I didn't realize. Like, that was the other thing. Immediately when I started researching this, I started like trying to find out like who all he dated, and it's just like this long
like, I want to trade places with him.
I'm like writing down like, who did he date. So it was interesting to go back and see like all the women he had dated. I'm sure there was many that aren't on the internet too, but yeah, women definitely liked him and still do.
I love seeing the pictures. It like brings me back to being a kid. Talk to me about the costumes, the scenery, everything you guys were able to film with.
Yeah. So we had full on wig, like the mullet from the first season, and then we had like crazy like suits, like 80s, early 90s suits, and like sort of that we couldn't do anything like too similar to what he actually did, but I had the vest on and like the tank tops, and the sets were really similar that you couldn't replicate them exactly, but it was really weird to sort of step onto those sets, and you're like, I mean, it's like you're like, wow, this is weird, like I'm on the set of like Full House. So yeah, especially growing up with the show, it was a lot of fun.
I'm always fascinated because when you watch these types of unauthorized biographies, like I saw the Saved by the Bell one, you always wonder what was really going on behind the scenes. How much research goes into figuring out what was really going on both on and off set?
Yeah, I mean, I watched that one as well, and I really liked it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I know that I'm sure they have to do a ton of research. Even going back, I mean, when I was going back, like looking like some of the biographies that I saw, like on the actual show Full House, like stuff like that, I could see where they got a lot of the material from, like actually people talking about it, or different interviews with people. I don't know to the full extent, but I could see in like my research, like I found a lot of things where I'm like, oh, that's where they pulled that from, or like there was even an interview that Bob Saget was he was like hosting, stepping in for someone, and like hosting, and he had John Stamos on the show, and like there was like this funny little bit that's in the movie that I saw him talk about that there. So it was interesting to like pick up these little pieces, and I'm like, oh, that's where that came from.
What blows me away, man, is they're doing the reboot now. It's called Fuller House.
Right.
The relevancy of this show and of this cast is still crazy to me. 20 years later, people still care. What do you think it is about this show now, having really just driven your way into it, that has made this people care about this show this long?
I mean, first off, it's just a great show, and I think, I mean, even at the time, I think just so many people fell in love with it. I mean, we were just talking about that on the way here. My wife, she, you know, TGIF, like that was what she was doing on Fridays. You know, I think it was just the right show at the right time, and like, but not only that, like it's still on TV every day. So for some reason, just the characters they created and the dynamic and the chemistry between the characters, and from what I understand, they all really liked each other, and I think that probably had a lot to do with it, because you know their chemistry together is just great. Like you just sit down and just kind of let everything go and watch this family, and I really can't explain it. It's some phenomenon, but yeah, it's still relevant, and they're doing this show now, and I'm excited to see the new show.
Do you and the rest of the cast sit there and just say, "Whoa, this is surreal that we're actually filming this stuff and telling this story"?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's so weird. Like you're like in this costume, and like, you know, guy Garrett playing Bob like walks out, and like it's like everyone kind of looks so much like them. It's like sort of weird. You're like, I don't know, it's just weird. And then like you watch some of the playbacks, and it's really strange and surreal to like, especially growing up with this show. It's like it's like weird, but it's cool.
What were one or two takeaways that blew you away once you started filming, things you didn't know that you learned?
I think it just probably had to do more with like things that happened within their like family lives, like some stuff with Bob Saget. I didn't realize that was sort of sad, like with his family, some tragedies, things like that. Nothing like crazy, like dramatic that I found out. Like I said, from everything that I saw and heard, like I think they all genuinely liked each other, and I guess that is somewhat surprising.
Like I was just watching the reactions when they started announcing the reboot, and it's like they're all still friends, and Lori Loughlin is like buddies with John, and you're just like, wow, these people really didn't hate each other. It's awesome.
It's
like Full House in real life. Well, congratulations, man! I'm super excited.
Yeah.
I'm always curious to see what happened on and off set. This looks like it's going to be a blast, and you look a little like him, which is crazy. So, congrats, man!
Thank you. Yeah.